Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to another season preview. I'm Aaron Schneider, the Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our football season preview is head coach Steve Rock. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Aaron. How are you?
Good. Um, to to kick things off as we enter as we enter this year, first, what are your goals slash expectations for this year?
From a goal standpoint, being an odd situation that we're in, we're really focused on just trying to get better as an entire team. Working from top to bottom to get guys to progress and be ready for really the fall. We're going to go out and do our best to win every ball game that we're participating in, like we always do. And then, but again, the objective is for us to continue to get better as a program. When we set out to get the program turned around, we talked specifically about incremental success. So that's just little one steps at a time type thing, and that's kind of our objective right now is to get one step better each day.
And kind of, I'm going to add a follow up to that. To talk a little bit about your concept of the resurgence.
Well, that concept really came from the beginning. Just no sooner than I got hired, I looked back at the history of the Anderson University football program and realized, man, there was a lot of really really good football here in the past, and so. And then I also wanted to think in terms of okay, these guys that we're about to start coaching and recruiting and that type of thing. How could we come up with a concept? The hashtag concept of the resurgence, basically that was born out of the idea that man, the program used to be really good and it was up here, and then right now we were here and we're trying to resurge back to that point, and that's kind of the concept. So it's really to pay tribute to the guys that were here that did it well long ago, and then to the new guys right now that took it here the first year and here the second year, and then we're hoping to get to here, maybe here in the next year or two. So that's kind of the whole concept of the resurgence.
All right. What are your team's strengths for this year?
I would have to say our strengths are, obviously on the offensive side of the ball with returning so many guys over there. I think that's going to be big for us. One of the other strengths that I think is that we've got some guys in the program right now that are a year and a half older, and about to play, year number two and year number three of college football. So we just have more guys that have some experience at this point than we've had in the past, and so I think that's a huge plus for us and a strength for us, provided we can stay healthy.
Okay, and going into that a little bit further, we have going looking at our offensive skill positions. We had one of the top offenses in the nation last year, and we bring back five people on our skill positions who were all conference last year. Go into that a little bit in terms of players that can make an impact in that area.
Sure. Coach Sanders again, he's my right hand man, and he's done a phenomenal job with those guys, and they're all bought into exactly what he's coaching and what he's doing there, and so doing a great job. And just to mention a few players, obviously, starting with the quarterback position, Tyson Harley's doing a phenomenal job, and continues to progress each day. We see him in practice. He's one of those guys that comes out each day and has high expectations for himself and works hard to get better each day. So that's a positive thing. And then going on and looking at the running back position with Reggie Lipscomb in there, all conference guy, and just did a phenomenal job for us last season, and another guy that we can 100% count on. He comes out each day ready to work and do his craft and get better. So thankful for that. And then you look at the receiver core, it's really good. I don't know how else to describe it. Those guys just do a phenomenal job, and with three all conference guys returning there, that's a huge plus for us. With Alex Barnett being the senior, and man, just again a real consistent performer, a guy that comes out and doesn't say much at all, but lets his play do the speaking and that type of thing. Then we've got James Tucker, A guy that just comes out and he's a phenomenal athlete and very dangerous, in everything that he does. He'll also return some punts for us and return kicks, and just a solid athlete and a guy that's working to get better each day. He's really attitudinally made some adjustments over it really in this COVID time coming into this season, and it's just been really good for us, really good for him, giving us a little sense of, hey, man, we really count on James, and he's going to do great things. So excited to see what James does. And then obviously, Zach Talent, and Zach is he's a coach on the field. He's a guy that brings a lot of energy. He demands high expectations on the field, which again, as a coach, that's exactly what you want out of players that have expectations for their teammates. Coaches can motivate so much, coaches can do so much, but until you get a group of guys that are going to listen to their teammates and respond to the things that they're asking them to do, and guys that perform at a high level, you're going to have problems. But Zach just does all of that stuff. He's kind of drives things over there from a player standpoint. We're thankful for that, and excited to see him do some great things this coming season. He's a guy, high expectations of himself, and if he ever falls short in practice, man, he makes a rough one himself. But a great guy. And then you look at the offensive line, and you look at a guy like Alex Parra, who when I first got here, and I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be our guy, and he's a shorter guy, a little bit undersized, but just tough and stout and all those adjectives you can come up with for that guy, because he just does nothing but plays hard. And again, he's a guy that when the guys see him playing hard and doing what he does each day, he inspires the other 4 linemen that are out there with him, and does a great job. And by the way, that whole unit, basically we're returning everyone but one new starter in that area. And so those guys have had some time together, grown together, and they're all doing a great job. So lots of positive there for sure for us. That's for sure.
Okay. Looking on the defensive side of the ball, we bring back Tristan Chambers, who was all conference on the defensive line last year. But talk a little bit about our defense and what you're expecting to see from them.
Sure. Well, we started out well last season, and then we had some injuries that really got in the way of us taking care of business the way we wanted to defensively last year. But we're moving on from that, and so we got a great group of guys in here that are really working hard together. But again, starting with Tristan Chambers, he's kind of that silent leader. He shouldn't say silent anymore. He was silent last year. He comes out this year and brings a lot of fire at practice and gets guys going. And sometimes I scratch my head and wonder where this guy came from, but I'm thankful that he's doing what he's doing. He's always a solid guy inside. He has high expectations for the guys around him. And we've got a newcomer guy that's doing a great job there with Jawan Coney, who's basically transitioned down from linebacker to playing a little DN. But returning guys there, Braden Michael just did a phenomenal job for us last year, and is kind of a guy that we know when we send him in, he's going to do his assignment and do it to the best of his ability. So we love that about Braden. And again, Tristan's got a couple of backup guys there. Another guy that we want to talk about, playing defensive end, is Brandon Goodman, and we call him Goody. So he does a great job. He's got a lot of fire and excited about the game, loves football like no other, and really brings some mojo to that position group. And so thankful for that. Another newcomer that we're excited to see is Ross Watson, just big fella, doing a great job. And then another guy will be John Ward, that's doing some great things and has all kinds of potential. Just got to get himself physically where he needs to be, and that type of thing. So, but then I'd say, just that entire unit, I look to see great things out of them, even though the numbers are small there, and that will be tough on us, down the road. But the other thing that we have there is we've got another coach that we've been able to add to the system, and that's Coach Derek Prather, and he's doing a phenomenal job with those guys. and really helping them big time. So very thankful for that. Moving on to the linebackers, kind of a guy that comes back to us. That's one of our real leaders here is Melandrick Skipper Blair. Just really solid guy in there. Another high expectations guy. I say that a lot, but man, that's what we're looking for is a bunch of guys that have high expectations that will work really hard. So Melandrick's one of those guys. He holds guys accountable. And wherever he's deficient, man, he makes up for with his smarts. With what he understands, and his football IQ is phenomenal. So we're thankful for that. Another guy in there that you really want to keep an eye on that's a newcomer is Colin McCaffrey, Mike linebacker for us. We knew recruiting him and getting him here, he was going to do some great things, and he's really been impressive in our practice times, and so we're excited to see him, play in a live game here just real soon, and very high expectations for him. I think he's going to do a great job. And then another guy that will play that will position for us is Juan Carlos Ramirez. Juan Carlos was able to practice a little bit with us in the fall, but had some medical situations that made it difficult for him to get many practices in. So he was kind of a surprise here in the last couple of weeks with our lead up to the season here. But very impressive. Another high IQ football guy, and a phenomenal motor and can move. So very thankful for him. He's doing a great job. But that whole crew, they're doing a phenomenal job working together and understand their roles. And, from a returning standpoint there, we've got a good, solid guy that's going to be a junior now is Austin Whelan. So he's got some playing experience. Another newcomer guy will be Logan Alexander that's doing a great job. And then another linebacker that we've converted over and is really picking things up and is very athletic is Dean Foundos. And so excited to see what those guys can do. And then when you go back to the secondary group, we're returning Crevon Maple, so we're thankful for Crevon. He had that horrible injury last year, and he's fought his way back and is excited as can be to have a great. So we're thankful for him and what he's doing. A new guy that's come in that's very impressive is Sam Fiola, playing the other safety for us, and just very athletic guy, lots of football IQ, and doing a great job. And then we've got a newcomer at corner for us. His name's Israel Terry, and he's just surprised us all. And he's come in and done a phenomenal job. So big things out of Izzy coming up. And then Trey Staley. Trey's a returner, and we know what Trey's going to give us, and he's going to give us everything he's got every play, and be a solid guy, very self-conscious of how he performs, and really has high expectations of himself. Another guy like that we're thankful to have and doing a great job. So good group of guys there. The situation on defense is that we have some depth issues, so we got to stay healthy and keep ourselves upright, so to speak, and things will be well for us there.
Okay, and then quickly go over the what the special teams will look like for this year.
Yeah, special teams is something we put a pretty significant emphasis on here this spring, working on things and getting our schemes down. But we've got some solid performers there. Bryce Williams comes back to take on our kicking duties. Dean Foundos is, again, just one of the more athletic guys on the program. And basically he's going to take care of our punts, do a great job there. New long snapper in Johnny Parker, who is, obviously a backup quarterback. So that's a great thing for us to have a good long snapper in there. And then, like I say, Alex Barnett, James Tucker, those kind of guys taking care of return duties. It's always great to get the ball in their hands and see what they can do.
All right. We kick off the season tomorrow against Franklin on the road. Tell us a little bit about them and what your expectations of Franklin are.
Well, being the first game of the year, both teams are kind of going in a little bit blind into the situation. I mean, obviously they know about us from, the previous seasons, and being able to have access to that film, and their entire coaching staff basically is brand new. So that's a little bit tough on us, not knowing, what we're walking into, what they're going to run offensively, what they're going to do defensively. At least they're their DC is returning, so we at least have an idea what they might do defensively, which is a benefit to us. But from a special team standpoint, no clue. From a an offensive standpoint, lots of possibilities, lots of rumors. You don't know what to believe. You got to prepare for everything, which makes it tough on us being a very young defense. But again, we love our guys, and we're confident, and they'll adjust and be able to execute.
All right. And then finally, what does your team need to do this year to be successful?
The thing we just need to continue to do is take that philosophy of getting 1% better each day and just really working our craft and worrying about us. Don't worry about other people. We don't have to do a lot of talking. We need to show what we can do. And then the other big thing that we have to do is figure out how to stay healthy. We're fighting that healthy situation on a couple of different fronts. Obviously, with COVID, we got to make sure our guys are following all those protocols so that each week when we do our testing, that things go well for us. And we've been very fortunate the last 3 weeks that we've all came back negative, so everybody's been able to stay focused and work through practice and that kind of thing. And we got great news last night. We're all good to go for this weekend. So thankful for that. And then just staying healthy on the field, and that plays into our development a little bit, because we have to not be so aggressive at practice, which I think is something we really could benefit from. But we can't be crazy aggressive at practice, because we've got to have everybody in the fold and ready to go on game day.
All right. Well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in to this preview. Be sure to follow along with any more previews or any more content that we may be putting out. Of course, follow along your Ravens as they take on Franklin tomorrow. Coach Rock, thank you for joining us, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Aaron. We're really looking forward to the season.